guys, welcome back to ACTV. Today we are going to be making fondant toppers, but we have a little bit of a hack. We are going to be using an acrylic topper base that we got on Amazon. They're really inexpensive and they make a world of difference in making fondant toppers. It makes it super easy. Today we are going to use fondant and basically cover this acrylic base and use it as our topper. So first things first, let's roll out our fondant. The topper we're gonna make today is for a baby shower cake for a boy, and it's going to say, "It's a boy." So for this, you can roll it pretty thin. You have to have enough thickness to impression these letters in that we're gonna be using, but it doesn't have to be super thick like you would if you were gonna put a wire or a dowel into it to then stick in the cake. All right. So I'm just going right over the acrylic here. That looks good. I'm gonna get a little bit of shortening to add on to here and then an X-Acto knife to trim around. Okay, so I've got a little bit of shortening here. All I'm gonna do is spread it around on the acrylic. A nice coat that covers everything. Okay, so go right back over. I'm gonna roll again so it's nice and smooth on there. And then I'm gonna take my X-Acto knife and just trim around. My fondant is a little sticky, so I'm gonna make it a little bit drier with the cornstarch so it's easier to work with. All right. Really just going around trimming. Okay, so you can see I actually trimmed onto the acrylic there. So all I'm gonna do is roll it out a little more. So I just have a knife sharpener. And all I'm gonna do is sharpen my X-Acto. That way when I cut, it's a little bit of a cleaner cut. There we go, that's better. All right. I'm just gonna take my finger and go around the edges here and make sure they're flush with the acrylic topper. Okay, that looks pretty good. And it's on there really secure with the shortening. So now let's impression our saying, "It's a boy." I'm just gonna get everything in place before I actually push down. Okay, so I think we're a pretty good place. I'm gonna start with the "it's." I'm just gonna push down. You wanna go firm enough that you can get in here and paint, but you don't wanna go all the way through to the acrylic. That looks good. We'll do the A. And now I'm taking a little bit of gold luster dust that I've mixed with Everclear. And I'm gonna paint inside of the letters. So make sure you take a really fine tip paintbrush to do this so you can get in there. So this paint here that I have is gold luster dust that I have mixed with Everclear. You can see some of it is thinner than other places. I basically am going into like the thicker paste and coating my brush and then tapping any excess off. You don't want it to be too thin or too much liquid or it'll kind of seep out outside of this impression. but you can put enough on there that it takes you a little ways while you're painting. Okay, that's all painted. That's where we're at so far. So now we're gonna do a little bit of watercolor. So I've got this little paint palette here, and I'm just going to put some blue food coloring in here, and then a little bit of white. So I'm gonna take some of the blue and mix it with some of the white so I have different shades of blue. Okay, so I'm just going to start adding little paint marks on here. They don't have to be perfect. There's no specific pattern. Then I'm gonna wipe off some of this and grab my Everclear. Again, this is perfect because it's gonna dry super quick. A little Everclear there. A little here, wet your brush, and then just touch those spots where you added edible paint. Okay, so now I'm gonna take another brush that doesn't have any blue on it. And try to spread out this color here and make it a little more watercolor. So you want it to end up looking like there's multiple shades on here. It's getting lighter throughout, almost a watercolor design. And then you can go back, take some color and kind of pop it on there. Okay. Now, while that's still wet, this is when I'm going to add sprinkles so that they stick. I'm just adding these little white nonpareils. Got a little bit of blue sanding sugar. Have a little bit of gold in here that I'm gonna add. These are a little bigger, so you might have to press down some for them to stay. Okay, and then lastly, let's add a little bit of gold leaf to finish it off. So I've got a sheet of gold leaf there. I could just come like this and add it on there, which I think will do. It's sticking pretty nicely. And then I'm going to take a little brush to push the gold leaf on so that it's flush. Okay. So some of my watercolor got into the gold paint there, so I'm just going to touch that up and add that sprinkle back on. Okay, I think it's all done. This is ready to go onto a cake. All right, guys, that's it. This is the fondant acrylic topper. Super easy to use, ready to go. You don't have to worry about putting a dowel through your topper, waiting for it to dry. You can literally just take this and go stick it right on your cake. If you have any questions or any other hacks for fondant toppers, please let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.